Alrighty everyone, I want to first start by wishing everyone a happy Thanksgiving if you are celebrating. And for those of you who spent the entire Mother's Day telling everyone that every day is Mother's Day, happy Mother's Day to you. Now, you may not know this, but only 50% of Americans get married. And of those, only 50% stay married. Now the reason for that is because it's very hard to find that special someone. Now this is not a new phenomenon, we actually find that even in Abraham's time this was a problem. In this week's Parshat, Abraham wanted to find a wife for his son for Isaac. Now the problem was there was no one who was, I guess you would say, a good fit for what Isaac was looking for where Abraham was. So he had to send his friend Eliezer to a completely different country to go to try to find a wife for Yitzchak and see if anyone there was willing to marry him. Now you would think that this being the mother of the Jewish people would need to be a very, very special person, and there would be a gigantic checklist of character traits Eliezer was looking for. But shockingly, Eliezer said he was looking for one thing only. Now if you're single, listen closely, because this is the only thing that he said you need in order to dictate this will be a good marriage and a good builder of the Jewish people. What was that one thing he was looking for? Will she bring me a drink and also bring a drink for my animals? Okay? Now, that is a very beautiful idea. It's very beautiful if somebody would come and bring you a drink. It's a nice idea. However, I'm not sure I would get married based on that. I don't think it's a wise decision to say, you know what, I'm going to marry the first girl that brings me a drink. There are many other things that go into marriage besides that. Maybe what he should have done is sat down with her, asked her about what she believes about God, what she believes about kindness and hospitality and all the other good things that she's going to be doing. Why did he limit it to just one thing? Will she bring me a drink? Now to understand this, I want to tell you about a fascinating study that was done. About 4 years ago, Ben Gurion University started doing the following. They went around to parole judges and started monitoring their decisions. Now parole judges are judges who decide whether or not somebody should get out of prison. So usually, obviously, the status quo is we're not going to let you out unless we have a reason to let you out, because if you're a criminal, we're going to assume that you didn't change unless you can prove to us that you did. So only about 1/3 of prisoners get out on a parole, and a judge will usually let out 1/3 and 2/3 he'll keep in. Now you would think it would be completely throughout the day, since all day long he's seeing these different cases, it would be completely random. Some people he would let off the hook, some people would let on. But what they found was as follows. A judge's day is broken up into 3 parts. So he comes in at 9, and he starts working until 12, and then he has a break. And then from 12 to 3 he's working and has another break at 3, and then at 3 to 6 he's working and has another break at 6, and then he goes home obviously at 6. And what they found is like this. Anyone who came to the judge within the first 1 or 2 cases after a break was usually about 60% going to get off the hook, and he's going to be let go. Anyone who was at the end of that rotation, so it was close to a break time, so the judge had already been working for about 3 hours, almost had a 0% chance of getting off the hook. So if you were closer to when the judge was in a good mood because he just got off a break, you had a very high chance of getting off. And if you were at the end where he was already, I guess you would say, sort of in a bad mood, you had almost a 0% chance of getting off. And this repeated itself over 1,000 times, so that anyone who was either 9 or 12 or 3 was usually going to get off the hook. Anyone who was close to 12, close to 3, or close to the judge going home almost never, ever, ever got off the hook. And when they showed the findings to these judges, the judges were furious. They said, that's impossible. When we make decisions, it's based totally on what we believe is right and the merits of the case and whether or not this guy really does deserve to get off. It has nothing to do whatsoever with whether or not we're in a good mood. And they talked and talked and talked, but the problem was, you can talk all you want, but we saw what we saw. The numbers don't lie, and when a judge is in a good mood, he's usually going to give a good decision. When he's in a bad mood, he's going to give a bad decision. And while we like to believe what we say about ourselves, our actions often show something very different. And I think that's what we understand with Eliezer as well. What we see from Eliezer is as follows. You can talk all you want about how you believe in God, and you believe in kindness, and how you believe in hospitality, and so on and so forth. But if you don't act on it, it's irrelevant. Eliezer wasn't interested in knowing what she said she believed. He wanted to see what she believed through her actions, because when somebody tells you what they are, you can ignore it. But when somebody shows you what they are, you can believe it. And that's what Eliezer was looking for. He wanted somebody who would not talk like the mother of the Jewish people. He wanted somebody who was going to act like the mother of the Jewish people. On behalf of Makar, I want to wish everybody a happy and healthy Thanksgiving and a Shabbat Shalom.